Are you looking at ways of making your students develop their oral skills? If you are, this is the video for you. I'm going to show you some lovely ideas around encouraging our students to do speaking activities, particularly to record themselves speaking. But what I'm going to do in this particular video is show you some really different types of activities that we can do using 3 different platforms. My name's Russell Stannard from teachertrainingvideos.com. Really hope you like this video. It's full of ideas about developing students' speaking skills. If you like it, please share it, please comment on it, and really help me to support my YouTube channel. Let's get started. So one of my favorite tools for using for audio is Padlet. I'm going to show you some brilliant tricks with Padlet today. And one thing I want to say about Padlet, a lot of teachers don't realize that you can use it for free. And I'm going to make that really clear to you today, how you can use the technology for free. Here's one example. This is at the beginning of the course and I want the students to introduce themselves to each other. First of all, they have to add an audio recording where they talk about themselves, and then afterwards I set up a little activity where the other students have to listen to each other's and then leave a question for them, and that part of the activity starts this week. So already everyone's recorded, a little introduction to themselves, and now the students have to listen to each other's and reply. But Padlet has got loads and loads of speaking options, and I've done all sorts of things in Padlet, and I'm going to show you now a few of the examples. So I've jumped back to my account. I'm going to click on Make a Padlet. So I'm going to click here. And the one that I'm going to do first of all is called Timeline. And Timeline, we can do it as the whole class. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to call this one My Favorite Holiday. And all students have to do is simply, I'm just going to click on Next and then click on Start Posting. Just share this link here at the top with the students so that they can access. The students have to come on, click on this button here, put the date and the place. So in my case, I'm going to put 2017 Thailand. Okay, better spell it with a capital. And then what I'm going to do now is just simply tell my story, and I'll put my name. Okay, simply tell my story, and all I need to do that is I click on here, and the one I'm going to do, of course, is audio recording. So now I'm going to record a little bit of information about my favorite holiday. So I'm going to click on this button here, click on this button to start recording. Yeah, my favorite holiday was in Thailand. I went there in 2017. I love the small islands on a boat, and I love the diving. So I've done my recording. I click on Save and Playback, and then I can put a title here. So Russell, Thailand, 2018. Okay. And then I save that, 2017 actually it was, sorry. So I save that. And now I've added up my thing. Now when you click on the save button, you do need to click on publish, guys, all right? So make sure you click on that, and that's added to the screen. Now another student can come along, so you share this link and another student comes on and they add their story. Maybe it will be 2015, Tom, okay, and then let's put Thomas, Scotland. And then Thomas would do the same. He would click on this button here, choose audio recording, and start his audio recording. So you get a whole collection of students talking about their favorite holiday. Now, one thing to do is to give the students some time to prepare this in class, so that when they go home and do the recordings, if they're going to do them at home for homework, then they've prepared something first. That is a lovely idea. I've tried it. I've used it in various guises, this timeline thing, and it works really well. Now, once all the students have got their recordings, so let's say you've got 10 or 12 recordings or 15 recordings or 20 recordings all added onto the timeline, what you can then do is click on this button and then change this activity by saying comment. so that people can now comment on other people's recordings. Click on save, and now what you can say to the students, so this is another part to the activity, is listen to 2 or 3 other people's recordings and then add a question to ask them about their holiday, and that works really well. Now I'm going to show you another idea with Padlet, but I'm also going to show you a couple of tricks when working with Padlet so that you can use the free account. I've just logged into my free account. The account that you just saw before was actually one that Padlet gave me because I did some work for them when they were called Woolwisher. I've logged into my free account, and I'm just going to come down here and just click here, and you can see that with a free account you can have up to 5 free Padlets. Now I've logged in with my Google account, so I guess that if you log in with Google or Microsoft you get 5 free Padlets. But there are a few tricks you can do. If you get to your maximum and you want to make a new Padlet, what you can do is right click here and archive your Padlets. And in fact, I do believe you're allowed to archive up to about 5 or 6 Padlets at any one time. Now, when you've archived a Padlet, it does mean that it's not live, but you can always click to your archived Padlets, and therefore you can then click and bring them, unarchive them and bring them back in to the made ones. So this way you can make more Padlets. Now there does come a point when you will need to delete them. Obviously you are restricted. I think you can have up to 7 or 8 archived Padlets. But my recommendation is, before you need to delete them, is simply to archive them, because you can always make them live again if you need them. Okay. Now I've archived all my Padlets, and now if I come down and check, I should see that I've got 0 out of 5 Padlets used. So now I can make 5 new Padlets. So that's one great tip when working with Padlets. Okay, so let me show you another idea with a Padlet. I'm going to click on Make a Padlet, and this time I'm going to go to Map. And we're going to carry on with the kind of holiday theme, but we're going to do something completely different. Okay, and I'm going to call this My Bucket List Destination. Okay. And all you need to do in this particular one, I'm going to click on next, is that you have to, so start posting, is that you basically have to choose somewhere on the map and then whether you would love to go, and you need to record yourself talking about why you want to visit that particular place. So let me show you how that works. Now the best way to do this is simply click on this button here, write the place that you want to go to. I'm going to write Porto in Portugal because I've never been there. It's someone I've always wanted to go to. So I'm going to click on Porto, Portugal. And immediately now it gives me the opportunity to do my recording, because I'm going to talk about Porto in Portugal. So I'm going to click on this button here, okay? And again, I'm going to do speaking because we're doing audio today. And I'm going to do a little recording. I'll just do a few seconds. One of the places I'd particularly like eating the fish. Okay, so I've done my recording. I click on play and save, and I can say, for example, Russell trip to Porto. Okay, as my title. Click on save. Remember to click on publish. Really important. Okay, click on publish, and notice that it's already added in onto the map. And if we now move right out again, you can see now that my example has been added into the map there. Okay, now someone else can come along and choose a different place. So again, we need to share the link so that all of the students can access this. So another student might come along and say, for example, click on here and add the word Seville, and then click on Seville, Spain, and then they would do exactly the same. They would click here, add audio recorder. They can even use webcam, but I really like audio. Click on that, click on this button here, talk about Spain, blah, 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 blah. Stop, play back and save. They can put their name here. So let's say this is Peter, and then put Seville, Spain, and then click on save. Remember, when you click on save, you must click on publish, wait for it to go like that, and then click on publish, and now a second recording has been added onto the page. And this way you can get all of the students to add their recordings of the places that they like, and you're going to have them all on the screen. So it's absolutely brilliant. We've now got 2 dots, and other students can do it again after they've all added up their places. And of course, you know, you might have people marking different spots all over the world. It doesn't matter. Then what you can do is click on share and change it so that people have to listen. Sorry, yes, I clicked on the wrong button there. Sorry, click on the cog, change it so that people can comment on each other so that they can then listen. And you might say to them, right now, listen to 2 other people and write a comment or leave a question, etc. Another lovely activity. Padlet is just great fun. It offers so many options for speaking and it works very efficiently. I get the chance to do lots of teacher training, particularly these days online. And one thing to think about is that if ever you're going to do a speaking activity with your students where you're going to get them to record themselves, make sure that you do some preparation work before. So often I do the preparation work in class or in a Zoom session if we're teaching online. The students then do the recordings for homework and then I give them feedback. Now the way that I give them feedback can sometimes vary. I might, for example, show them a model of a good answer and then get them to compare what they've done to a good example. I might sometimes even get them to listen to each other's and comment on each other's. I might give them an evaluation sheet that they can use to then go back over their recording and think about how they've approached it, how they organised it, how they prepared it, etc. So it doesn't always have to be that the feedback's given by the teacher. Often it's good to get students to reflect on what they're doing. But one thing that I often see in teacher training or often see when I'm watching teachers is that they're not doing enough preparation work before they expect the students to do a recording. This is the next idea that I'm going to show you, and a lot of people don't realize that you can do this. You can have a picture and connect it to an audio and use an arrow so that the 2 things are connected together. Let me just show you how this works. Okay, so I'll take you through the whole process. I'm going to click on Padlet, going to come back here. The one that we're looking for when we click on Make a Padlet this time, and this is great if you want to get students to describe pictures or talk about pictures, is Canva. So the students have to do 2 things. Let me explain to it. So let's call this one Talking About a Picture 2. And then I'm going to click on Next. So that's created, start posting. Remember, you need to share the link. The students double click on the screen to start. First thing they need to do is upload a picture. So I'm going to click here and I'm just going to quickly jump over to my pictures and see if I can quickly upload a picture that we can use. So this one here, lovely picture of a beach. Okay, so I've uploaded the picture into the system. Now it looks like that took a bit of a while because it was actually quite a big picture, so you have to keep that in mind. Smaller pictures probably a good idea. Simply click on publish. You don't need to even write anything. Now double click again, this time click on audio, and you're going to talk about the picture. So I'm just going to add a little bit of text. Yeah, this is a picture. I'm going to stop it there. Click on save and playback. I just write so beach walk, for example, and then click on save. Now I've now added a picture. Remember to publish and these 2, but this is the special thing. Now click here, click on edit. In fact, sorry, I got that wrong. Apologies. So now, sorry again, click here and click on connect to post, and then it's going to light up all the different posts on the screen. There's only one in this case, and just connect, and that will build a connection between these 2. And notice if you move that around. Now if I did that again just really quickly, so add up a picture, so let's just add up another picture just as a quick example. So for example, perhaps I'm going to put this picture here, sunset, and click on open. That publishes the picture onto the screen. You don't need to necessarily write anything if you don't want to. I'm just simply going to publish that picture, wait for the picture to load. These pictures are a bit big, but it's fine. Then the student needs to double click again, click here, add audio, again click on this button. This is a lovely picture. I was on a big sunset. Done my recording, click on, give it a title, so I'm just going to call this one Sunset. Click on Save, and then click on Publish, and wait till it is ready to be published, then click on Publish. Same thing again, you can move that around. All you need to do now is click here, watch what happens, click on, so you just click on Connect to Post, and it's going to say, well, which post do you want it to connect to? I want it to connect to that one. And now those 2 have also been connected together, and these 2 are connected together. So students can add up a picture and then talk about it. Absolutely lovely idea, works really well. Now Padlet can do lots more, so if you want to learn more about Padlet now, I've just added on the screen, there's a link to complete training in Padlet, but if you want to carry on, I'm going to show you now some more ideas to develop speaking skills. Okay, so we've seen some great ideas with Padlet, and remember my tips about how to use Padlet as a free tool. I'm going to show you another free tool now, but I'm going to show you a couple of advanced ideas using this tool. It's very simple to use, one of the easiest audio tools on the internet, and we can use it in loads of ways to encourage our students to develop their speaking skills. Just a really quick break from the video. I hope you're enjoying the video, and if you are, please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free videos that you can access. You can also find out about all my courses. They're always advertised on the opening page. And please sign up to the newsletter. If you sign up to the newsletter, you get updated with all the blog posts, the webinars, the online courses, and the videos. And at the moment, if you sign up, there is a 12-part free video course in using technology in teaching. And I send you a video about every 5 days. Let's get back to the video. This is probably the easiest tool on the internet for doing audio. It's called Vocaroo.com, and I remember presenting this more than 10 years ago. In fact, I think 12 years ago at IATEFL, and it's still around. But what I'm going to show you today is some more really kind of advanced things that you can do with this. So you can literally get students to come onto this website, click on this button. You can't get anything easier than this, and start to record themselves. Let me just show you. Hi, my name's Russell. I can just have a quick listen to it. Hi, my name's Russell. I used to be an English teacher. Now, what students can do is if they click on save and share, they have like a lot of options. And one of them that's really interesting is to download this as an MP3 file. So this is actually producing a really small file. So if I just click here, it downloads as an MP3, and you can see it here. And the reason that's important is because it's actually very easy to send that as an email to a teacher, because as long as it wasn't too long, it won't be a particularly big file. So let's in fact have a quick look at that. So if I click on here and show in folder, we can even see the size of that, and it's only 181K. So it's a very small file. Normally, for example, you can email up to 20 megabytes. So one simple idea is that students could do recordings using Vocaroo and then email them to the teacher. That would be one possibility, but there are many other ways that we could also share these audio files, and I'm going to show you another one. Okay, the next idea is slightly more advanced, but this is exactly how I use Vocaroo. So I'm just going to come over to Vocaroo again. You can just click on this button to do another recording. Remember, as soon as you click on this button, it starts recording. So testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. Going to stop. You can pause if you want. You can listen, of course. So testing, 1, 2. Okay, so all working fine. Going to click on save and share. Going to click on download. Now that has added in that recording into my downloads. Now what I'm going to do is jump over to my Google Drive. So in my Google Drive now, all I need to do is click on new and file upload. And then I need to open up my downloads. It's the very last recording I've done. I want to upload this one here. I'm just going to click on it and click on open, and that immediately saves my recording into my Google Drive. And that's brilliant because now I can share the link to the recording with anyone, either in an email or upload it onto a website or put it into Padlet or anything. All I need to do now, I can see that the recording's been uploaded, is just click here and it will show me where that recording is. And it's sometimes a good idea to actually put all the recordings into one folder, but it doesn't matter. Now here's the recording on my Google Drive. All I need to do is right click, and the one I want is to click on share. Now I've got two options. I could write the email address of the person I want to share the recording with, and they will get a link where they can click and listen to it. Or I could simply click here and get a link, and that anyone with that link, in fact it should be fine, anyone with that link can view. Okay, so that's all you want people to be able to literally just to be able to listen to it. Okay, So we'll choose that now. I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So I'm going to click on copy link. Now I can copy that link to anyone now, and anyone with that link would be able to listen to the recording. So let's just log on using this link and see what happens. So I'm just going to paste that link in, click on enter, and what should happen is it's going to open up a website with a little player that I should be able to click on and listen to that recording. Keep in mind that when you share that link, it does take a few seconds for the audio to upload and be ready to play. Then you can just click on that button. But the great thing is that when you've done this and you make an audio file shareable in your Google Drive, you can share it anywhere. So you can share it in Edmodo, in Moodle, in Google Classroom, in an email, in Padlet, etc. So it's a great way of making an audio recording using Vocaroo and then saving it on your Google Drive. Vocaroo can do loads more things, and if you want to learn about Vocaroo, there's a link on the screen now, complete training in Vocaroo. But what I'm going to do now is carry on and show you my favorite technology for doing speaking activities with my students. Finally, we're going to look at my favorite technology. It's Zengengo. This offers so many different options. It's almost infinite, the number of things that you can do with it. We're going to focus on using it to develop our student speaking skills, and I'm going to show you some quite original ideas. Let's get started. Okay, now we're going to look at my favorite technology, particularly for getting students to speak, but I just want to make it clear, this is a complete product. There's absolutely everything here, whether you want to do grammar, you want to do listening, you want to do speaking, you want to do vocabulary work, you want to do reading, it's all here. It's one of the most impressive technologies I've seen made by language teachers for language teachers. And what I'm going to concentrate on today is some of the speaking activities, but also not only how you can set them up, but also how you give feedback to students when they do the speaking activities. So I'm just going to go into one of my classes. I use my first certificate class for these examples. I'm just going to click in here, and it's going to open up the main structure. You'll see that you can do all these different activities, and each of these activities has various settings. So you can get students to do audio recordings, video recordings, they can do written work, they can do speaking drills, they can do gap fill and grammar exercises, you can set up tests, you can do video gap fills, you've got multiple choice, vocabulary tests, etc. Now, this is a complete package, so I want to make it clear this tool is not free. You can use this tool for free for 30 days, and also I have a special offer from this company, and I'll share the link in the description below, and if you click on that description you will get a 10% discount. So it's going to cost you $9 a month if you use this system. But as I've said, this is a complete system. You almost do not need anything else if you decide to use this system. But what I particularly like and want to focus on in this video is some of the speaking activities that we can do. So the first thing we're going to do is do an audio recording, show you how we can use this to get our students to do audio recordings, and there are loads of options, so I love this. But one thing, just before we start, click on the submission settings, and what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to ask the students to provide their name and their email address, and the reason for that is because I do want to be able to give feedback to my students once they've sent the recordings. If they're doing an exercise that's automatically corrected by the system, for example, a gap fill or a multiple choice, then I don't really need their email addresses, because I will simply be able to log in and see what score they got, and of course they will automatically get their feedback. But if I want to listen to their recordings, then obviously it's a good idea that I can then respond to them and give them some feedback on what they've done. So I'm going to choose collect student email. I'm going to click on save. And then the first activity that we're going to choose is audio recording. And what I'm going to do, and this is an activity I've done before, I'm going to call this one talking about your phone. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up, and so tell me how you use your phone and what apps you like best. So really simple instructions. To give them a little bit of encouragement, I'm going to add an image. So I'm going to click on images, and I'm going to upload an image. And if I come over to my computer and go to my pictures, I do believe that there we are, a smartphone picture that I want to upload. So I'm going to upload that picture. You'll see that that picture uploads fairly quickly. So we've already written up the instructions, which are talking about your phone. Tell me how you use your phone and what apps you like best. You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a long time, guys. So I'll just leave it 2 minutes because I've run out of words there. Yeah. Or so we could say, just say for example, let's just change that title there to phone, make it a bit shorter. Okay, phone. Tell me 2 minutes. Okay. So I've set up the activity. I've got an image and a question. I'm now going to set the time limit to 2 minutes maximum. Now, that is fine. 2 minutes is plenty of time to talk. Nothing else for me to do. And all I need to do now is click on save and send the link, copy the link and send that to the students so the students can now log in and do the activity. Now let's see what the students have to do. So I've just written in that link and notice it's asked for my name. So I'm going to say, right, Russell, and then I'm going to use a particular email address. I use a throwaway one that I often use called russellhandout@gmail.com. It's not actually an email address that I really use. I just use it for test stuff. So I'm just going to write Russell Handout. You have to confirm. So all the students would have to do this and then they can do their activity. So just add it in, click on next. This is exactly what the students would have to do for homework. And now they get to see the picture and afterwards they can read the question and then they can add their answer. So let's just do a quick answer. Allow. Yeah, I use my phone for lots of things, but particularly for listening to podcasts. I'm a huge fan of podcasts. I'm a huge fan of audiobooks, so I often listen to audiobooks, particularly at night before I go to bed. I put on the audiobooks and listening to them, bloody blah. Okay, I'm not going to do 2 minutes, but you can see how you do it. I'm happy with my recording. I can even quickly listen, check it. I'm happy with it. Yeah, I use my phone for lots of things, but particularly... And then I can simply click on submit and click OK. And now the students will receive, now the teacher will receive that recording. And so all the students can be sending their audio to the teacher. And the student can even download the submission themselves if they want to keep a record of what they recorded. Now let's go back and look at what the teacher sees. Okay, now obviously in reality many more students would be doing their recordings, but let's go back now to the teacher view. Sorry, I'm getting confused between teacher and student. Let's go back to the teacher view and see what the teacher receives and how the teacher can give feedback. So if I log into my class, come down, I can see all the activities that I've previously done with my students. There's loads of them, and if I come down to this one here at the bottom, I can see that one student's already handed in their homework. I can click here, I can click on view, and immediately it's going to open up that student's work, okay, and I can see the first student on the screen. And what I can do now is I can listen to that student's work. Yeah, I use my phone for lots of things, and then I can give that student feedback and just click on this button here, and it allows me to write something, so I can give them some feedback and say, well done, this was really good, you could improve, blah, 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 blah. I can even, if I wanted to, give them audio feedback. I normally don't do that. I normally give them simply just written feedback. And now I can send that to them, okay? So I'm going to save that feedback. So I want to save it first. And then I want to send feedback link to that feedback. So I'm going to click on this button here, and it's going to send it to the email address that the student provided. Absolutely brilliant, so efficient, so clear, so easy to use. And if you're working with high-level students, you could even think about giving them audio feedback. Now, I've made several videos on Zengengo because I have to say it's one of my favorite technologies, simply because it's got so many things for a language teacher all in one place. You almost don't need anything else if you're working with Zengengo. And what I'm going to do on the screen now is add a link if you want to learn more about some of the other options. For example, the grammar options in Zengengo. They are superb. So there's a link on the screen now if you want to learn about the grammar options in Zengengo. I'm going to do one other activity now using the audio recording and give you another example of something you can do. What I love about this technology is it's just so flexible. You can work with it in so many different ways. Okay, so I'm going to write here this one. Listen to the intro and then make your own introduction. This is something else that I've done in the past where I've recorded myself introducing myself to the students. Particularly this works at the beginning of a course, and then their activity is to do a similar recording, okay, where they talk about themselves. So I'm going to now come down to here. This one doesn't even really require, all it requires is for you to add some audio. So you just click on this button here and you can record. So I'm going to click on this button and record myself, just doing a little bit of an introduction. Just going to have to click on allow. Hi, yeah, my name's Russell Stannard. I was a language teacher and now I'm a freelancer, bloody blah. I do the recording, okay. If I'm happy with that, I upload it, okay. I'm going to put the name, so just Russell presentation. Okay, click on OK. So that is the recording that I've done. And then the important thing now is that my students will be able to listen to this and then they've got to do something similar. And what I'll do again is limit how long they can record for. It's a really good idea to limit. And another tip is make sure you do some preparation for, you might even do some preparation work for this in the class and then get the students to do it for homework. So I'm going to click on 2 minutes, okay, and then I'm going to click down here and click on save, and that is now ready. So I'm going to click on that link and let's imagine that we're a student. We're going to log in as a student and do this activity. So I'm now going to log in as a student. So obviously the student has to click on the link. So I'm just going to click on that link. It's going to bring me into that activity that I'm expected to do. The students will obviously need to fill in the information. Click on the next button. And this is a different type of activity. Notice that they've got this here. Listen to the intro and then make your own introduction. So they can first of all listen to the introduction that I made. Hi, yeah, my name's Russell Stannard. I was a language teacher. And then they can do the same thing. There are so many nice ways of doing this. The students have to read something. The students have to watch a video. The students have to listen to you. The students have to respond to a picture. I love these kinds of speaking activities. Now, if you want to know more about Zengengo for speaking, I'm going to put a link on the screen that goes through in any more detail. Below in the description is the link to the discount. You'll get a 10% discount. You can use Zengengo with up to 500 students, so you can deal with all your classes with just one account that's going to cost you $9 a month. Really hoped you liked that video. Please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free content and you can see all of my courses on the opening page. Don't forget to sign up to the newsletter. That way you get updated with all the latest blog posts, the webinars, the latest videos and the courses. Of course, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click on the bell. That way you'll get all the updates. And finally, if you do want to contact me, perhaps about doing a conference or doing some training with your organization, you can contact me from the website. Thank you very much. I've added up some videos onto the screen now that you might find useful or are all connected to the idea of developing students' fluency.